Did you miss me? Because I missed y'all. I'm back, y'all. I am back from Miami. It killed me not being able to do the recap yesterday, but then again, it didn't really kill me because I was having a good time. I was having a good time in Miami. But I'm back. I just got back like literally an hour, 2 hours ago. So yeah, I just literally got home, watched the recap. I watched the episodes late last night, but I was in Miami. I didn't have my setup and everything. And I like to give y'all quality content. And I don't want the quality of the video to be terrible. I don't want the audio to be terrible. So that's why I didn't do the recaps yesterday, because I know I was going to come home the very next day and I can do it now. But yeah, I want to thank y'all again. Last week, I think the video from last week might be the second or third highest rated viewed video for Joseline's this season for me. So shout out to y'all. Big thumbs up again. Y'all beat it again. I think 200 is my goal for Joseline's, and y'all got me like 330, I want to say. Do that again. Please thumbs up the video, especially because we are on a Monday. We are out of the normal schedule, so I'm expecting a dip in viewership and a dip in interactions, but we'll see. Y'all might shock me. But if you're watching, please thumbs up the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe if you are new here. Please turn your post notifications on. We'll be back on schedule next week. But yeah, and I'm not going live tonight, y'all. I'm not. So I'm going to do this and relax because I need to sleep because I got to work tomorrow. But yeah, thumbs up the video. Drop y'all's comments down below. Share the video, and I'll see y'all down there. But we're about to get into this recap. Let's go. All right, so we return to Dani, Hennessyy, and Draya trying to jump Neek. For three girls to be trying to jump Neek and not one of them hit her, that's crazy to me. Crazy. But Neek turns around immediately because when she threw the chips, Dani leaps to grab her hair, but Neek turned around immediately before she could even do anything. So Neek caught her quickly, and then Hennessyy decides she wants to jump in and try and swing, and she missed. And Drea's back there, like, you could see her literally sitting there trying to see when's the right time to hit. Like, punk shit. But Hennessyy ends up claiming in her confessionals the reason why she jumped in was because Raven's not a fighter and she don't want to deal with the fight. And I said, then shut the fuck up. Like, Raven, if you don't want to fight and you're not a fighter, then shut up and stop talking like you fight. The way Raven had all that extra bass in her voice when she was talking to Neek, the way she was talking made it seem like she wanted to fight. So if you don't want to fight, shut up. Shut up. And Hennessyy, you mind your business, because if Neek continues, because she ain't been messing with, Neek has not been messing with Hennessyy in the last couple episodes. So if she wanted to start doing that now, it's not her fault. You still egging it on. I understand sometimes you gotta get your lick back, but you did. The last time y'all fought, in that last round, you was getting Neek. There's nothing more to be done. Like, why are you still doing this? But Draya is now screaming at the top of her lungs, which I thought was funny because y'all love talking about how Neek likes to scream and talk all the time, but y'all do the same shit. Y'all just like hypocrites. But she's saying that Neek said to Joseline that you looking for, and this explained it all. This explained why she's so mad. She said Neek said to Joseline, you looking for somebody to run the cabaret, and that was a direct shot at her, talking about me, talking about Draya. I said, Neek is not thinking about you, first of all, but second of all, you're insecure. Because Joseline, in your mind, has said this a while. And Joseline even said it too in her confessionals. But you feel threatened by Neek. That's the whole point. We all know that. These girls are jealous of Neek. They're threatened of Neek. And now that Neek is now talking to Joseline about ways that she can kind of include herself outside of just being a dancer, you're threatened by that because you know if anybody's going to get it, it's going to be her. Like, let's just keep it real. But Neek ends up running their line back to them in her confessional saying, you talk too much, bitch. You talk too much, bitch. Y'all know how she did that. You know how Dani and Draya was doing that, especially Dani. I think it was episode 8. In my opinion, still the best episode of the season, when she was doing that, talking about Neek. And Neek was like, you spend too much time worrying about Neek. Like, you're an OG. Worry about an OG. Like, worry about being an OG. Like, do that. But Raven is sitting there saying that she don't like the way Neek talks to her OGs, to you, Raven. And is sitting there saying that she talks to her OGs. Like, she's like, who are you? Yes, you're supposed to be like the house mom, but you could tell Raven wants to have this higher seniority, or she wants to feel like she's in power because she's not that with Joseline. Like, she's inferior when it comes to Joseline. She's the type of person that, you know how you say the bullied becomes the bully? This is Raven. Joseline treated her like shit, And the only way that she can feel better about herself is by trying to act like Joseline with other girls. And the only thing is she's trying to do it with Neek, somebody who is extremely confident, and it's never going to work. It's never going to work. So for it not working to her, that's what bothers her the most. And you can tell she wants Neek to kiss her ass and she wants Neek to look up to her because she's probably jealous of, well, I'm not going to say probably, she is. She is jealous of Neek. Like, she low-key looks up to Neek. Let's just keep it real. Like, a lot of these girls don't want to admit it, but they like Neek. They like Neek because they see themselves, they see what they want to be in Neek. Like, let's just keep it real. But she's sitting there saying, you're a great dancer, but your attitude is horrible. You got a horrible attitude too. Like, come on. And I'm just laughing because somebody said in the live last week, one thing about Grant, he is going to defend Neek. When she's wrong, I'm going to tell her she's wrong. But when she's right, I'm going to always tell her that she's right. And of course, I'm going to always have a little bit of a soft spot for her, obviously. But Neek ends up saying, watch. Like, because that's the thing, too. Raymond ends up saying, too, you won't get booked in this industry outside of this show. You talking about the best dancer on this show, the prettiest woman on this show, the one who's got more talent than anybody on the show is the one that's not going to get booked. The one who had clout coming onto the show. She already had clout coming onto the show. I didn't know who she was until this show, but I've seen, looking through her social media, that before the show was filming, she had clout. She had numbers. Like, she didn't need to be on the show. You mean to tell me that she's not going to work in this industry? Be for real. Raven, what have you done outside of Joseline's Cabaret? Let's be for real. But Neek ends up saying, watch. Like, bitch, watch. Watch what I do. And Raven says, no, I'm not talking about a Tubi movie. What have you done, Raven? Like, what have you done? But then you got Dani in the background still gaslighting, claiming that demons are eating at Neek because she's drunk. This whole, like, I don't like how they paint this image of her. And even if she is getting drunk, so what? So what? We're grown. If we want to have drinks, we can have drinks. It's like, I feel like they're trying to put this label on her because she's on the show and she's having a drink every now and then. Like, it's not that big of a deal. The only time that we've really seen her drunk was in this episode. And we'll get to it later on. But the other episodes, we ain't seen her that looked like she was drunk. Yeah, she drinks, but like, it's not like it gets to a point where she can't be handled. And I can't stand the way that they deal. Or it's like, they try to make it seem like it's stopping her from being professional. And it's like, no, y'all are trying to pick an issue and make it bigger than what it is so that she can go home. But it's not going to work. But Draya and Neek, they're going back and forth. And Draya's claiming that Neek can give critiques, but essentially she can't take it. I'm like, shut up. And Neek ends up saying, nah, you said what you said, and I said what I said. And it's the truth. Like, Neek says what she says, and they can't stand the fact that she don't fold when they want her to fold. But Raven is sitting there talking about how don't disrespect Andre. You shut up. They're just having a conversation, a back and forth. And if anybody's being disrespectful, it's Draya. And Neek can disrespect her if she wants to. Like, who the fuck are you? You are not Zeus. You are not God. Like, please, be for real. But Raven is sitting there trying to call Neek insecure. I'm like, doing this. You pointing the finger, but what's pointing back at you? Them other four. Like, you're the one that's insecure. She makes your insecurities just right here in your face. And the only thing that they're doing is projecting their insecurities onto Neek. They want Neek to be so insecure so bad. It's hilarious. And Neek was like, girl, please, like, whatever. But Raven ends up claiming that she claps for Neek when Neek does good, but she don't see Neek clapping for nobody. Lies. I've seen her clapping for the girls plenty of times in the previous episodes. And she does it online. And you see it now when they're on tour and stuff. She probably still don't like these girls to this day. And I still see her around these girls, lively. Like, come on. Be for real. But my thing is, too, why are you too busy? Like, that just shows how threatened and how bothered you are by her. Because why are you sitting watching her and seeing who she's clapping for? Like, why are you even focused on that? Why are you worried about that? But Draya ends up claiming that Neek is not professional because she's challenging authority. I'm like, where and when? But Raven then also tries to tell Neek that she needs a therapist, and she feels like this experience, if it don't go the way that Neek wants it to, she'll be one of the girls that'll get online and start blasting them on the blogs and stuff. Again, Neek will make it outside of the show. Whatever happens with the 50K or not, she will make it outside of the show. Raven, you need to be on this show to make it outside of the show. As you said, you're 30 years old, trying to get to school. Like, come on. But Neek ends up saying, I'm not that girl. And Raven says, well, you give them vibes. And Neek says, I don't care. Like, I don't care. But Erica, and then this right here proved, like, this brought it to, I forgot to say it earlier, but Erica sitting there trying to tell them to focus on the rehearsals and deal with this later. I was pissed this entire scene because Erica, Rosé, Envi, Oceans, those are supposed to be Neek's girls. When she was attempted to get jumped, not saying attempt because they weren't successful, but they were trying to jump her. Which one of them jumped up? None of them. They were verbally jumping her, coming from Draya, from Dani to Raven. Who stood up for Neek? Nobody. It was Neek against all of them. Weak. These bitches is weak. Because I guarantee you, if Isis was on this bus, she would have her back. If Jayla was on this bus, Russian, if she was on here, she'd have had her back. Crazy. Dez would have even had her back, even though she was wallpaper. But they get to the venue eventually, and they're getting off the bus, and they got this white confessional on. She's a beautiful girl. But they head on in to meet Joseline and Ricardo on the stage to do the stage rehearsal, which they needed to because this stage was a different type of stage. It's a club that's like, it's like, if you've been to Miami, I don't even want to say it's like that, but it's like a club in the middle of the street, like on a strip. Like, you know how when you're in Miami, you got Ocean Drive, it's a bunch of other stuff going on. You got bars, you got restaurants, you got streets, you got clubs. It's kind of like that where you can see a lot of people that are walking by throughout the city. And that's essentially what this particular performance is going to be. And Joseline's like, I don't know how I'm going to perform on this, like, because it's a strip show or a burlesque show. Is it really considered a strip show? I guess you can call it a strip show. Like a burlesque strip show where they're exposing themselves. They're going to be naked. And it's like you doing it in the middle of the street. And say somebody's kid walk by and they see some titties right here. And they see some ass and some vagina. Like, that's a good question to ask Joseline. But they run through the rehearsal, even though there's still a lot of tension and everything. But most of them are pretty nervous considering how sloppy their run for the dress rehearsal was and how interesting the stage design is. So whatever. We get to the night of the performance. They get off the bus. They're in their red outfits for their last performance. This is their last performance of the season. Everybody looked good for the most part. Draya, she's talking about how she had heard rumors that the cartel is going to be there, so she wants to be extra entertaining. I'm like, okay. And then Hennessyy is noticing how quiet the girls are walking to the stage because there's still tension in the air. But Joseline, she arrives. She heads up to see the girls, pretty much pepping them up to get ready for the performance. They head downstairs and the show begins. They start off with Domino. Joseline was very happy to see actual fans in the crowd. There were certain people there that did have their cameras up. They were looking excited to see Joseline. Raven was claiming, like, when they were performing, like, the crowd was lit. Later on, they started to get a little bit more lit. But during this one, it was dead up in there. I was like, what you talking about? But she ended up saying, like, yeah, we were trying to give them energy and everything so they can warm up. And they started to warm up to them, which they did. They started to warm up. But they finished that performance. We get to the next performance, which is cracking me up because Neek, she was over there killing it, as always. And she's noticing out the side of her because Neek and Dani are right here on the front. Not the front in front of Joseline, but they're the front in front of the girls. And you see Dani over there fucking it up. And when I say fucking it up, in the worst way, not the good way. She off beat. She off timing. She on a completely different move than the rest of the other girls are. Neek notices that out the side of her eye. And she's like, y'all sitting there worried about me on this bus, but clearly you had other things to worry about. I said exactly, like, y'all sitting here telling her that she needs to be looking up to y'all and we should be taking, like, Neek needs to be able to take constructive criticism from them. You can't even get up here and do a performance and remember your routine. Why are you going to give me constructive criticism? Neek is not fucked up any single time when they have gotten up there to perform. She's ate everybody up, including Joseline, every time they perform. So who are you to tell me what to do? But it was funny to me. Y'all know I don't like Dani. I don't like her. She has been in my comments giving me love, which shout out to you. I appreciate that. I don't like you on the show. I don't like you on the show. I don't know you as a person. Hopefully this is just who you are for TV. Hopefully you ain't like this in real life. But she ain't been in my comments since then. But maybe she's still watching the videos. But Dani, she cracked me up in this moment. She cracked me up in this moment. She's talking about how I was hot while she was performing. Says I was giving it everything I got. And they show this flashback in slow-mo of her putting her head down doing one of the moves. And as she puts her head down and pulls it back up, she says it herself, 3/4 of my wig was coming off of my head. And she said, I've been dancing for 10 years and this shit ain't never happened before. And the way she said it had me hollering. Boy, I was laughing. But Joseline, she ends up performing another song. The crowd's warming up to her, and the performances, as I said, like the more she performs, the more the crowd is getting more invested. Rosé, she's trying to keep all this good energy on the stage because she knows it's the last performance. She never knows what is being taken into account when it comes to who Joseline decides to win that money. So she's like, this is my last hurrah. Like, maybe this could be the performance that could give me the money. But Joseline then also performs Ghetto Fantasy. Envi, she's up there for her solo. She's sitting there trying to light her candles under the stage. Like, they're on the stage, but they're under the stage. She's trying to light it because they in Cancun. All that breeze, all that stuff going on could end up stopping her from being able to get them candles lit. But she eventually gets out there and does her solo. The next performance, Joseline, she's sitting there talking to the crowd because she heard people screaming her name and chanting her name. She then performs I Like the Way You Are, that song that movie band legend love. It's a good song. I do think it's a good song. And a lot of people like it. I've seen a lot of people on social media saying they like the song and want it to be released. Joseline, release it. Do it. Shoot a video for it. But Draya, she ends up feeling like they all showed out. Like, this was their best performance in her eyes. And she feels like she's happy with it. And they're performing, Neek and Draya are performing the I Like the Way You Are with her. And they back there doing their thing. And Joseline ends up saying also that she feels like this performance showed her that the girls are ready to go on tour. And she feels good. She wraps it up doing Do It Like It's My B-Day. You already know that song. She thanks Cancun for being there. She shouts out the girls. And they wrap up the performance. The next day we get Neek and Envi. They are by the beach with these little shots in their little in their cups, and they're happy to be in Cancun. They're happy to be a part of the Cabaret. Envi, her usage of motherfucking in this episode, OD. She was motherfucking this, motherfucking that, motherfucking this. Oh, we gonna motherfuck that and motherfuck. I'm like, damn, like we get it, motherfuck, we get it. But Rosé, she comes to join them because she says that the two of them have gotten closer. Well, the three of them have gotten closer since being in Mexico. I see her and Neek. Envi was just low-key trying to get you up out of there a couple episodes ago. But I can see her and Neek definitely getting closer. And they're closer, as you can see, in real time right now. But they start chanting Cabaret Wasted, which to me is their version of Batty Batty Shot O'Clock. And it was very catchy. By the end of the episode, I was chanting it with them. But Envi and Neek, they asked Rosé how she feels like after fighting with Hennessy and everything. And Neek was like, I just don't like that biting shit. Like, are you hungry? I don't like that biting shit either. Y'all know I love a good fight. I like a good fight. When I say a good fight, I just want to see some form. I want to see some technique. Y'all know I watch boxing and I box myself. Like, I like to watch good fighting. I know these girls is on TV. Not all of these girls know how to fight. But the ones that I want to see fight, that can fight, I want to see some good fighting. I don't want to see you biting and pulling hair. Like, I don't want to see that. Neek is in the same, she in the same box as me. Like, I don't want to see you biting. But Rosé is showing them her finger and everything. Neek is like, I just don't fuck with the hurting somebody that was supposed to be your friend. I agree. Y'all heard me say it last week. And Rosé ends up saying, like, if somebody trusts you enough to tell you something and y'all supposed to be friends, you don't air their business out. Said that shit too last week. I fully agree. But Neek ends up saying, that's why I fuck with you, because I don't like seeing friends fall out. Envi ends up saying, asking how they feel about making it to the end, because they're essentially at the end of the season. They all feel amazing. They feel like one of the three of them is going to get the money. I would not disagree with that. I feel like two of the three have better shots than Envi. I feel like Rosé is definitely a choice. Neek is right here. I feel like Neek is she's the bar. She's the bar. Even though Joseline's doing what she's doing, I do believe at the end of the day, she knows that Neek is the best one to win the show. And I feel like she is going to win. I do. I'm going to say episode 14, I feel like she's going to win. We're going to see if I'm true or not, if I'm right or not. But she should be the one to win. She should be the one to win. But, yeah, Neek was like, yeah, we dance, we sexy, we deliver. Like, all we've done is deliver. And they have. Like, these three have done really, really well. But Envy's saying too, like, we're trained. We actually know how to dance. And I'm like, yeah, that's why one of y'all should win. The ones that should win, in my opinion, is the best dancer. And when I say the best dancer, like the best one that has everything that the Cabaret is supposed to be. Dancing ability, sex appeal, aura, and who has that? Neek. Anyways, Raven and Draya, they're at their clit licking meeting. That's what I'm going to call it. The snitch meeting where they get to go snitch to their master, Joseline. But Draya is sitting there talking to Raven as they're waiting on Joseline to show up, saying that she feels like they all got to know each other, talking about the girls throughout the experience. I'm like, okay, I guess. But Raven ends up dropping the bomb that Hennessy got a taste of Neek. Must be nice. But Draya ends up saying, I know I was there. Like, I saw it. And Raven wonders if their issues were actually sexual tension. Like, y'all had all this beef before. Was it actually sexual tension? Both of them look good, so I wouldn't be shocked. But Joseline comes in, and she's looking good as well. Like, I like this pink on her. I liked her hair. The lighter makeup, it wasn't too hard. Like, Joseline looked good. But she sits down with them to catch up with her snitches to get the tea. And the fake tea, I should say, or the, I don't drink tea, so I guess the unsweetened tea, I guess. But Raven ends up talking about how she didn't like how Neek was talking to the OGs and other girls. Still talking about Neek. Like, all she do is talk about Neek. That's all she do. But she then proceeds to say that there was a Royal Rumble and Neek tried to hit her. Lie again. Lie again. It's so convenient how you tried to spin that as Neek trying to hit you. She threw them chips out of frustration. If she wanted to hit you, she would have hit you. She would have hit you. And not only that, why did the Royal Rumble start? Yes, them chips hit Neek, but guess what? Who leapt to try and fight? Dani. Who else leapt to try and fight one person who was fighting another person? Hennessy. Who's sitting back there pump faking, waiting for her shot? The other snitch sitting right there, causing drama between your cabaret. That's the and then who instigated it? Raven. Like, look, come on. But Joseline ends up saying, who tried to hit you? And Draya says Neek threw a bag of chips and it hit Dani, and then Neek turned around towards Raven. Lie. Because the minute she threw that bag, she knew it hit Dani, and she turned to look at Dani. She looked at her. Because Dani was coming to pull her wig, and then not only that, she caught wind of somebody else coming out of this way, and probably smart because it's like, I know 4 of y'all bitches don't like me, and who's to say one of y'all is not going to try and jump me? And look what happened. But Raven ends up claiming that Neek is giving bully vibes. No, that's you. You're giving that now. And Joseline wants to know why the OGs like Hennessy, but the newbies don't like her. And Draya and Raven are pretty much saying, like, she kind of reminds me of you. And Draya says a little bit of Dani because they're both from the Bronx. But Draya feels like they're ganging up on Hennessy, and she doesn't like that. I'm like, okay. Maybe in the past they were, but, like, I don't feel like it's still that way now. Like, at this point, they're not even bothering Hennessy. The reason why Hennessy got into that fight was because she was bothering Rosé. Like, come on, let's be for real. But Joseline ends up saying that she could be playing the game right, which would be the smart thing to do. I said, yeah, you're right, because Hennessy definitely could be playing the game. Her getting close, and I believe that, though. I believe Hennessy getting closer to the OGs is strategy. Of course, she's going to want to be around them because they're the only ones that don't necessarily hate her. But not only, I believe Hennessy don't give a fuck about none of them bitches on the show. And I don't blame her. Like, you there for a competition. But I do believe she's playing the game. It's smart for her to position herself with those girls at this moment in time. And Drea's like, yeah, you could be right, because they could be trying to use us to get close to you. And they feel like that could be a reason as to why Hennessy is around them. Duh. But Joseline starts getting emotional, talking about how the OGs are her good friends and everything, and she loves them so much, and people don't see it. We don't. Because the way you treat them, don't say that you love them that much. And she ends up saying, too, like, I don't want people to feel like I don't care about y'all. Well, then start showing it. You just choke slammed Raven last season. You call all these girls bitches and make them suck your toes, essentially. That's not a friend. Like, that's not a friend. But they let you do it. I mean, they let you do it to them. So, I mean, you're going to do what you're going to do. But Joseline ends up telling them to get the girls together so we can go to the yacht, because they're going to have fun on a party. They're going to have a party on the yacht and have fun, and hope to have no fighting, get some food, get some drinks, just have a good time. Which I'm like, finally, they need that. But Melissa, who looks very uncomfortable in that scene we're about to talk about, but she comes in and asks Joseline, like, can I talk to Joseline for a few minutes? Draya and Raven take that cue to walk out. So Melissa ends up telling Joseline essentially that she did an amazing job. There was a Playboy scout that was out there in the audience watching the performance who got Melissa in contact with one of their representatives to pretty much lay out the offer to get Joseline the cover of Playboy Mexico. They showed the scene of Melissa having a conversation with this lady, which I don't believe it to be true. I feel like it was a stage scene. Obviously, the Playboy seems to be legit, but I feel like they redid this scene for a reason. But the way Melissa was standing there, she just looked so awkward to me. But Joseline, obviously, she's excited about being on the cover of Playboy Mexico. So, I mean, who wouldn't be if you're a girl? But Draya and Raven, they had to go tell the girls about the party, but they didn't realize they already knew because by the time they got to them, they was all dressed. Everybody looked good, but of course, Neek stands out to me, obviously. But the girls, they get on the bus as they're heading to the yacht party, and Raven starts talking about Hennessy taste to Neek, of course, being messy. And Neek was like, see, girl, here you go. Here you go. And she's trying to act oblivious. Hennessy ends up saying that she had to lick them hoes, shut them the fuck up. But she said Neek was good. I believe it. But Hennessy also then says that Neek was doing the most, and she starts laughing as she's saying this. I was wasted. Like, she was doing the most and I was wasted. You just having fun. You just having fun. Like, you just have fun. But they pull up to the boat. They're excited. They have a fruit tray. The yacht looks nice. Envi is talking. The motherfuckers. Here they come. Here they come. We about to turn this motherfucker out. We gonna do this motherfucker. I'm like, Envi, please. But they show a montage of them stripping, twerking, drinking, having a good time. Tops are off. Like I said, the two that need to be clothed at all times is Draya and Dani. They look like little girls to me. Some of y'all say they look like little boys. It's flat. Like they look like little kids. I feel so uncomfortable watching them when they naked. Whereas the other ones where you got like Hennessy who got that body, Joseline who got that body, Neek who got that body. Cool with it. But Joseline ends up pulling the girls together at the end. And it was funny because Envi was over there knocked the fuck out. And she ends up saying that she saw Joseline having a conversation with them. So she ends up coming over there. But she ends up letting them know, like, I'm not playing games with y'all. Like, we still having a competition. Like, we had fun today. But she kind of like snapping them back into it. Yeah, we had fun, but it's still a competition. $50,000 is still on the line. It's going to the right lady, not the wrong lady. Neek's eyes borderline shut at this point. She drunk, which is not a problem. Y'all are literally partying. That's what you do when you party, you drink. Like, that's just what happens. I don't drink that often. I was drinking this weekend. Like, I rarely drink. The older I get, I rarely drink. Of course, when I was younger, I had those days, but I rarely drink. And when I do, it's for stuff like this. When I'm having fun, I'm at a party or I'm just on vacation, I'm just doing it. So I don't see what the issue is. Her being on the show, that's what you're there to do. They don't provide the liquor for you to not drink it. Like, hello. But Joseline ends up asking Neek, because she sees them eyes like this. She says, are you okay? And Neek's learning her words and saying I'm drunk, because she's taking accountability for it. But she's sitting there talking, and Joseline's laughing with her. And then you got Dani's hating ass talking about something, shut the fuck up, I'm trying to hear Joseline. But Joseline's not trying to talk. She's trying to hear Neek. Why don't you shut the fuck up? And she laughing at her confessions, talking about something, oh, fuck that hoe. Like, you are a weirdo. But Joseline ends up letting them know also that she is going to be taking Draya and Neek to the Playboy shoot with her. Neek, I would have absolutely chosen, because it makes sense. I would have chosen Hennessy as well. Would have made sense. But she chose Draya, of course. But Joseline ends up saying that she chose Neek because she wants to believe that she is not a hater. I'm like, Joseline, you are so threatened. Because what has Neek done that has made you think that she's a hater? She's done nothing but be in your corner. But okay. Neek was like, I'm not a hater. I love it. But next week, they're talking about Neek being a drunk yet again. They still trying to play this out. But then they have the Playboy shoot with Janisha. Look like Janisha's the one that set this up. And Joseline looked good while she was shooting. And it looks like Draya and Neek seemingly have a connecting moment. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that was the episode. Please, if you got this far, please leave me what do I want y'all to leave me down below? Leave me a wine glass for the Cabaret, what do they call it? Their little Cabaret toast. Leave me a wine glass down below. Thumbs up the video if you've gotten this far and have not done it already. Please do that. Share the video. Subscribe if you are new. I'm about to go rewatch Baddies because I watched that late last night. I'm going to rewatch that. I'm going to get back on here in a minute. And yeah, I'll see y'all then. Peace.